So, tell me why you think you have this
Fear.
sensation.
I don't know because when I was little, I used to like play with daddy long legs and stuff. So like I don't know why. No, my older sister was wicked scared of spiders, and maybe I like saw her fear and like thought it was scary, and now I can't even explain why I get scared of them. Like I always like tell
Mm-hmm.
myself like they're just spiders, like it's fine, but like it's just
Okay. So,
uncontrollable.
basically, let me tell you a little bit about what I do. I'm not a therapist, I'm a
Okay.
teacher.
Okay.
I teach you how to use your brain and get it to work differently.
Okay.
It's like if you sit down at a piano and you have no instruction, you can make sounds, but you're not going to do a concerto.
Yeah.
But once you know how to do it, once you know the techniques on your own piano, then you can make it. You could have a piano at home and it never makes music
Mhm.
until you learn how to do it.
Right.
Same thing with the brain. You could have a brain and it does stuff and it's like, why is it doing that?
Yeah.
Like people say, I want to quit smoking.
Yeah.
Well, that's your brain and you're smoking and you want to quit. How come you just don't not smoke?
Right.
And they say, well, see, behavior lives deeper inside of the brain.
Okay.
See, the conscious mind thinks it's in control, but it's not. It's not in control of anything important. So when people go to learn to ski, like I teach skiing and I actually give classes to the ski instructors to
Mhm.
teach skiing. And when people go to ski, they don't say, oh, well, I'm going to get scared and fall down. They say, well, I want to learn this.
Yeah.
And as they start going down, their body does things that they don't expect, right? So there's a part of the brain called the amygdala,
Mhm.
and it starts with the letters AMY. So I just call her Amy because it's
Amy.
easier. So Amy's really at fault, and Amy's at fault here too. It's her fault. Her job is to search for danger, and when she finds danger, she triggers your body to a different reaction
Mhm.
because you can't think your way through danger. Like if you're walking down the street and there's a car coming and you jump out of the way,
Yeah.
and then you suddenly say, what just happened?
Yeah.
It's like you don't remember jumping. Like
Yeah.
you didn't decide to jump.
Amy did.
Amy did the jumping.
Yeah.
She triggered your body to get out of the way because if it goes through the regular thought process, it'll take too long. You'll get squished.
Right.
Same as like back in the days when there were saber-toothed tigers chasing after us. We would jump out of the way or attack or do things before we had a chance to think about it,
Yeah.
right? You
Mhm.
don't want to think when you're being attacked or
Right.
when you're in danger. You want to just act. And then, like
Yeah.
when I first learned to ride a motorcycle, and by learning I mean I bought one and got on it, one time I hit some oil and the motorcycle started to skid and I didn't know what to do. And I just I did something. I still don't know exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And I just drove out of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I did.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. It's like my brain did all the calculations before I had a chance to think about it.
Yeah, that's kind of
But
wild.
sometimes we need to retrain Amy to explain to her that these critters are just actually they eat bugs that sting us.
Yeah.
They eat bugs that bring Lyme disease. They eat bugs that bring Zika.
Mhm.
So they literally save our lives. They save people's lives by eating bugs that could harm us.
Right.
Okay, so I'm very happy when I see them. I think they're kind of cool
Yeah.
because like I said, and plus, I mean, those tiny little brains, the way they're able to make those intricate designs,
Yeah.
it's
I loved
unbelievable.
Charlotte's Web as a kid.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I liked spider stories.
So tell me, when you were a kid and you thought of Charlotte, if you would imagine that there's a glow around her, what color would the glow have?
I was thinking yellow just
Okay,
now.
cool. And if you were to think of one of those things that you saw the picture of,
Oh, Like when you showed me?
Right. What color would it have?
Like red. I
Okay,
swear the
good.
thing had red eyes.
Now, this is the interesting thing about the subconscious mind. It doesn't work in language. That's why you can't just tell it,
Yeah.
stop being afraid of spiders. You can't tell it,
Yeah.
but you can communicate with the subconscious mind. Now, there's the easiest and quickest way to communicate with the subconscious mind is the one activity that they both share.
Okay.
What thing you can control consciously that is normally controlled by the subconscious mind?
Um, Breathing? You gave me a clue.
Yeah, well, but you
Okay.
discovered it,
Right.
right? So it's work. So
Because I can change my breathing
you can change your
consciously,
breathing,
but when I'm not, when I'm sleeping, I'm just doing
right?
it.
So if you are breathing calmly and you saw one of those things, which we're now going to just call Charlotte,
Charlotte.
and we're going to call Charlotte because when we're done, you're going to think of all spiders as Charlotte spiders.
Yeah.
They're Charlottes. Call them Charlottes from now on. They're
Okay.
Charlottes. They're not those other things that
That's
other
true.
people call spiders. Other people call them spiders. We call them
Charlotte's.
Charlottes. So Charlottes save people's lives.
Mm.
They stay in the corner. They don't bother anyone. They eat bugs that, go in
Yeah.
your ear. That's not fun. I used to hate that as a kid.
Yeah.
I would,
It's annoying.
that used to freak me out. Okay? Like when you're trying to sleep,
Yeah.
like in the house I grew up, we didn't have an air conditioner. So, nighttime, it was hot as heck.
Hot.
So you had to leave the windows open. And sometimes, they'd either work their way through or they'd come in the house another way. And, like when it's cool, mosquitoes like to sleep. But when
Mm.
it's warm, they buzz around.
Mm.
They love to do that. And they find your breath. They search for the CO2.
Oh, that's how they
That's
find
how they're
out.
attracted. They see the warmth of your body and they see the CO2. And when you're sleeping, your body's under the cover, so they don't see your body. They see your head.
Yeah.
So that's where they go. The ears are the hottest part of the body, so they aim for the ears.
Oh,
And
nice.
that and Charlottes eat them.
Which is great.
They catch them.
And
That's what
they're
they do for a
intricate,
living.
gorgeous webs.
That's what they do for a living. Okay?
Thanks, Josh.
So if you tell Amy in your brain, these Charlottes save people's lives, you start to feel differently about them. And the way in the past, see, I'm doing that on purpose. The way in the past you were able to be afraid of Charlottes is you'd make up a movie in your mind. Because let's do an experiment. Let's say that there's a Charlotte right here. Let's say, okay,
Okay.
it's right here on a little pedestal,
Yeah.
okay, and it's just sitting there. It's not doing anything. It can't. It's inside a box. It can't escape,
Okay.
right? So you're just looking at it, and in the past you'd be freaked out,
Yeah.
but the spider's not hurting you.
No.
So how do you think you could get to the point of being freaked out? See, people aren't afraid of what they see. See, that's the outside world.
Yeah.
People are afraid of the story they make up in their mind
Yeah.
from what they see. So other people, they create this big movie in their brain that something terrible is happening.
Uh-huh.
And that's what they react to. They create the movie, and that's a lot of work. But
Yeah.
just like when you're driving, the first time you drive, you're like white knuckle, you don't turn the radio on, you're looking out the windows,
Yeah.
you're checking everything, you're really nervous, your heart's going. Then later on, people driving with one finger,
Yeah.
they're putting their makeup on, they're eating bagels, they're watching
Too
television,
casual.
and driving happens.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the same thing. The first time you made up a bad movie about Charlotte, your brain had to do a lot of extra work to make up this big movie and then become afraid of it. See, there's two steps. You see this thing, and it's just a shape. It's just a shape,
Yeah.
right? Just like this pillow. Are you afraid of this pillow?
No.
It's a shape. It's got swirls and colors, right?
Yeah.
So it's a shape. And your brain says, this is safe. See, touch it, it's safe, right?
Yeah.
Now, if that shape looked like a charlotte, then it doesn't, still a shape,
Mm-hmm.
but your brain has to make up a story about it before you get to being afraid part. See,
Yeah.
there's a big extra step that you have to do. And that in the past, you used to do that extra step.
Yeah.
You used to make a big story in your mind about how these things are really dangerous. And then you forgot how you made the story, but it plays like zip, really fast in your brain.
Yeah.
And then you get to the feeling that it brings. Like, what's a really good movie that you've seen? Anytime. It could be a long time ago, it could be recently.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump, okay. And what's kind of a scary movie that you've seen?
I don't know. I've seen so many scary movies, I just can't think of anything right now. Arachnophobia.
Arachnophobia.
I love that.
Did you actually watch that movie?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, there you go. But that is a phobia.
Yeah.
Now, I don't treat phobias because I'm not a medical doctor, but I can help you with a fear.
Mm-hmm.
You see where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm.
I can't technically help you with a phobia. Just one of those little disclaimers.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. Because I could get arrested for practicing medicine without a license if I
Right.
help you with a phobia. But if we just say it's a fear, then we could just talk about fears. That's no
Yeah.
big deal. And anyway, I'm not going to fix it. You're going to fix it. I'm just going to give you the tools
Mm-hmm.
to fix it. It's like I'm not going to dress your wound. I'm going to hand you a band aid. And
Mm-hmm.
you're going to fix the wound. I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you what to do with the band aid, but you're going to do it. You're going to be the doctor that fixes the problem.
Okay.
And once you learn how this problem was created and how you fixed it, then you could help yourself with other things that you want to do better, and you can help other people. See, that's why I do teaching instead of therapy.
Okay.
Because therapy, you have to come to me every time you're afraid.
Right.
And of course, I make a lot more money, but it's not what I do.
Right.
That's not my thing. My thing is empowering people. I empower you to fix the problem instead of saying, well, Gene fixed it. No, no, no. You fixed it.
With the
You
help
fixed
of me.
it with some new lessons about how your brain works,
Mm-hmm.
and then you fixed it. That gives you the power. And if you start feeling weird about them for some reason in 2 years from now, you'll say, well, wait a minute, I'm making up a new movie that I don't like.
Yeah.
Why am I making up a movie that makes me feel something I don't like? It's like you went to see the movie Arachnophobia. Okay? You made that decision to see it, and then what feeling did you have at the end?
Terrible.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
And what feeling did you have when you saw Forrest Gump?
I love that movie. I
Okay.
swear it gets better every time I watch it.
Right. So if you saw that movie and you had a good feeling, why would you want to see a different movie and get a bad feeling? Okay? So that's exactly what we're talking
Right.
about that your brain is doing. Your brain sometimes makes a decision to play a movie that gives you a feeling that you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not happening in the conscious part of the brain. However, the subconscious mind can be influenced, one, by breathing. So if you are breathing calmly and taking deep breaths and thinking about your breathing every second, if you were doing that, thinking about your breathing every second, and you saw a charlotte in a box, and you were just focused on your breathing, what would happen?
I think I wouldn't freak out.
What would happen? I didn't say what wouldn't happen. Huh?
Like, nothing.
Nothing. It's a shape, okay? And if you knew it was a charlotte that was completely harmless, because some of them, like I worked with some people here who are afraid of snakes, and there's a lot of snakes around. This one person, like yourself, had to do something involving getting near snakes,
Mm-hmm.
and she was always terrified of her own job
Yeah.
and her office sometimes, and she had this biblical ability to attract snakes. So her office, sometimes she'd walk in and there'd be 8 snakes under her desk.
What?
And they're like just different. It's really weird. It's really
That's
weird.
really strange.
Everybody around her knew about her ability to attract the thing that she was most afraid of.
That's so bizarre.
Like she would walk down a path that no one ever saw a snake, and there'd be like a row, like like Indiana Jones kind of scene.
What?
Yes, this would happen to her all the time.
That's so bizarre. That is really bizarre.
If you bump into Barb upstairs in owner services, ask her about the lady who was afraid of snakes.
That's really
And she'll
crazy.
tell you the stories of the biblical events that would happen around her attracting snakes that she was terrified of. But now she sees them and it's like, you know what? I just don't want that thing near me.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't go, ah! I
Yeah.
mean, she would run for a mile if she saw a snake in the past. She would just literally
Yeah.
just run for
Take
a
off.
mile. Yeah. And that just isn't necessary anymore. She's like, ugh, somebody
Right.
get these things out of here,
Yeah.
or, just let's walk around this way.
Yeah.
And that's a proper attitude because some snakes are poisonous.
Yeah.
And if they feel trapped, they might bite you.
Yeah.
So just avoid them.
Exactly.
And that's the same thing with charlottes. Some of them are poisonous, some of them aren't. So you don't provoke them. You don't get them angry. Like if you see one crawling, you just let it crawl and then let it go away. I don't kill snakes. Like if I find it's not snakes, spiders. I don't like if I find one in my apartment,
Yeah.
I'll just bring it to the balcony and let it go. Because I know it's going to go and kill bugs.
Yeah.
I don't want to kill it unless there's no other choice.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's poisonous, then of course I'll kill it. But I would do so with a heavy heart.
Yeah.
So,
Which is weird. I don't like killing them either. And I actually can't kill them. I will have somebody else do it, but I prefer if they just remove them.
hmm
Cuz I don't want them dead. I don't
right,
want to kill anything.
right,
I just don't like them.
right.
I don't want them near me. I don't want
Well,
them
in the
anywhere
past,
near.
say in the past,
In the past.
in the past. Place those feelings. Okay, listen. I'm going to give your subconscious mind a direct suggestion. Place those feelings towards Charlotte, who, you know, has that nice yellow light around her. Place those other feelings, those red feelings, way in the past, where they belong. And when you look at the future, let the colors around the Charlottes be nice yellow. And if people call them spiders, don't worry. That's their word. You have your word. And when you see them, just see the yellow glow around them. Just see the yellow glow around the Charlottes and recognize that they protect humans. They protect little babies from, you know, Zika virus does really terrible things to babies, and they protect babies. They protect pregnant mothers. They protect little puppies who also could get, bit by fleas and things like that. They catch those things. So they protect puppies and kittens and little babies. And they have a yellow glow around them because they work for humans. That's why cats became domesticated because they catch mice and rats that bring disease.
Mm-hmm.
So spiders are like kind of mini kittens. They catch
They're the
things that,
kittens of the insect world.
yeah, they catch things that bring disease to humans, and they eat them, just like cats eat mice and rats. So your obligation to yourself is to simply let Amy know the updated truth. Like when you have an app on your phone and it updates by itself,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So we're updating the app of how to deal with Charlottes, right? And the way to deal with them is you just notice on purpose. See, noticing something that you look at, that you've been watching, and you didn't see, and now you see it, that's noticing. But noticing something on purpose is if it's not there, you put it there. If you don't see the yellow glow around the Charlotte, put it there, and then it'll be there. That is your signal to Amy that you're not in trouble, that you're not in danger, that you're safe. And this Charlotte is out there protecting mankind. It's protecting little babies
Yeah.
and other critters that are cute and furry
That I like.
and that you like.
I like
It's a
the fur.
protector.
Mm.
It's a protector. So if you see those little protectors, the little kittens of the insect world, you know, some people are terrified of cats.
So weird.
They are. Right. It's so weird. It's just like other people are terrified of spiders. That's so weird. They're little protectors.
Yeah.
They're little protectors. That's what they do. And some of them are cute, honestly. Some of them are cute. People have them as pets. Just like some people couldn't believe, like, how could you have a cat as a pet? You can go to a pet store and buy a spider. They don't
I don't
hurt
think I'm gonna
people.
get that
I don't think so either.
far.
And there's no reason for you to get one. Okay? Because you don't have mice,
No.
right? So then you don't need one of them. Okay? So there's a little bit of tension in your body. Tell me about it.
Oh, I don't.
No, tell me about it. Tell me. It's not a confrontation.
I don't know.
Talk about it. Let it out.
I
Your
guess just
subconscious mind is a little confused right now because we're giving it new instructions and it's still got these old instructions.
yeah.
And since you're not an expert yet at dealing with your subconscious mind, you're learning to be an expert, but you're not there yet. You know, it's
Mhm.
like your first blue trail. Okay, you're off the bunny slopes, it's your first blue trail. It's
Mhm.
like, okay, this is a little challenging, but I'm going to get through it.
Mhm.
That's do you ski at all?
I snowboard.
Snowboard. Okay, well, same thing, the same
Mhm.
colors. So you're taking the next step up in running your brain. It's
Mhm.
a little challenging. So tell me about the tension that you felt a moment ago.
I honestly, I didn't even realize it. To
That's
be
correct
honest.
because it's
Yeah.
your subconscious
Yeah.
mind. But when you ask your subconscious mind, what did that tension come from? What would your subconscious mind say?
Um, I guess just the conversation of Charlotte's still
Hmm.
has me tense. Like, even though
Okay,
I'm in the process of trying to change that, like
you're not trying
talking
to
about
change
it,
it.
of
We are
changing it.
changing it. Yeah. I mean, honestly, do you feel the same about a Charlotte now as you did 15 minutes ago?
No, because I'm really like trying to see them for what they are actually are and not just scary.
Right. They are protectors of
Right.
little babies and pregnant moms.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Kittens.
protectors. They're the kittens of the insect world. Now, seeing those two images in your mind at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
the brain starts to try to integrate that. And there's a little like sparking and confusion, and that will settle down
Mm-hmm.
until they're just Charlottes. They're just these little yellow glowing kittens of the insect world. That's what they'll become.
Yeah.
And it might take, you know, a day or two.
Yeah.
And here's the important thing, and I'm going to speak again directly to your subconscious mind. I want your subconscious mind to know that some of the work that we're doing now occurs now. Some of it occurs in your dream space.
Okay.
Not your daydream space, like you're daydreaming about what kittens look like as,
Yeah.
with 8 legs instead. And
Kitten face.
yeah, you just like a little kitten face, a very cute kitten face, but 8 legs.
Yeah.
So like your brain's saying, well, what? That's not the way it is, and it's like you're putting it together, and it's like, okay, yeah, I could work with that. So it's in the process of doing that. That's like in your daydream space, but also in your night dreams. That's where a lot of the integration, that's normal, by the way, because we're talking about dreams. This is your subconscious
That's
mind
funny.
saying that I hear you. See,
Yeah.
your subconscious mind is acknowledging the work
Would
we're
you look
doing,
at
which is
that?
cool, which is very cool. I'm very happy. Thank
Yeah.
you, subconscious mind. I appreciate that. Because your subconscious mind is acknowledging that there's changes happening in your night dream space too. Okay, in your night dream, you're going to be continue to integrate these two very different things that they were different in your past, and now they're becoming one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the kittens of the insect world. Okay, the little Charlottes that will protect us and will keep us safe and will keep the yurt relatively bug free certain times of the year.
Mhm.
And and we need them. We really, really need them. I mean, if you could push a button and eliminate all the Charlottes from the world, that'd be very sad.
Yeah.
But we'd also be in big trouble
Yeah.
because all the other insects would start to rise up, and that would be a really, really bad thing.
Yeah.
We need the checks and balances, and the Charlottes of the world are checks and balances,
Mhm.
keeping humans safe, keeping little animals safe, keeping little kids, little babies safe. And that's what they do. That's what they do for a living. So can you see a Charlotte with all that nice yellow around it, even if it's in a different shape like that picture that we saw yesterday? Can, can you see that picture from yesterday with all the yellow glow around it and a little kitten face? It's a little awkward at
It's
first.
hard,
It's a
but
little awkward.
I'm trying.
Okay,
I'm putting it there.
yeah. Allow it to be there. Allow it to be there. Allow those two things to be together. And just let it sit there. And just put it there every once in a while. And what you're doing, okay, medically
Yeah.
right now, what you're doing in your brain is there are connections between what used to be a spider and what is now the kitten of the insect world. There are connections that are breaking in your brain and
Mhm.
reconnecting to other things. That's what's happening in your brain right
That's
now.
pretty cool.
Yeah, you're actually physically, and it's a physical change. It's not just thoughts. It's
Yeah.
physical wiring in your brain is changing right now as we're speaking, and will continue to do so in your dream space. That's why I'll send this to you and listen to it just as you're about to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, like maybe for like the first week, try to listen to it as much as you can.
Yeah.
Or listen to it, then make your own notes,
Uh-huh.
okay, about what's important. Or you could write them out however you want to do it. And then just think about the most important parts just before you go to sleep. And then your brain in your dream space, in your night dream space as well as daydream, that's where you really finalize the new circuitry. That's when it goes from a momentary thought to permanent behavior.
Mhm.
So we're changing not only what it means to you, but the fact that you could be completely relaxed if you see something over there,
Mhm.
a safe distance away,
Mhm.
and you just see this little kitten of the insect world. And you could
Yellow.
mentally put the little kitten smile on it, like the cute little kitten that's playing with something. And, kittens play with things as practice for killing,
That's so
right?
funny.
Right?
I never
And,
thought
and
of it like
we,
that.
well, yeah, but they practice doing
Yeah.
this to practice killing mice and other critters.
That's so funny.
And that's what spiders are doing. They're practicing killing, but you could see them, playing,
Yeah.
having
Spinning.
fun, spinning
Spinning
their
web.
web. Spinning their web, which is also a protector. It's a deadly bug catcher.
Yeah.
Spider webs are deadly bug catchers. So you could say, oh, that's a deadly bug catcher.
Catching all those deadly, the dangerous bugs.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the spider's name.
So
Charlotte.
I want to show you something. You can call them spiders now. That's safe because spiders now have become the kittens of the. So you could say either word because
Yeah.
spider doesn't have the same sound anymore, does it?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Didn't take long. See,
I
this
mean,
is
it's
your
yeah.
power over your life.
Mhm.
Your power to choose how you feel. And can this technique be used on anything you want?
Right.
To choose how you want to feel and then find what you need to put in its place and then decide how you want to feel about that. It can be used for anything, not just the little kittens of the insect world.
Hmm. Pretty interesting.
See, people in the past, other people, um, they react to things and they forget that they're seeing something, making a movie about it, and then having a feeling. They
Mhm.
forget the middle part.
Yeah.
They made the movie, and you could put a different movie in there. You could put a Forrest Gump in there when you see a kitten of the insect world, and say, just a box of chocolates. Yeah?
Mhm.
Some are good, some are bad. They're like a box of chocolates,
Yeah.
right? Some of
Yeah.
them are good, some of them are bad. Some some will only eat insects. Some will eat insects but hurt you if you get too close
Mhm.
accidentally. They won't do it on purpose, but they'll do it by accident. So, I mean, a car will hurt you if you get too close.
Yeah.
If you walk onto Route 4, with a blindfold on at nighttime, you're probably going to get hurt very
Yeah.
badly. So everything will hurt you if you let it,
Yeah.
if you don't handle it properly. So there's no greater or less danger from those things.
Mhm.
It's just if we're a safe distance and we follow normal protocols that we follow for everything else in our lives. I mean, furniture could be deadly if it falls on you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, a TV, if you plug it in and you plug it in the wrong way, you could get a shock.
Yeah.
Okay, so two things I want to show you. One is the word try. And let's start with hope, okay? So put uh, your left-handed.
I'm right-handed.
Oh, right-handed, okay. Are you ambidextrous at all sometimes?
Kind of.
Do you use your left hand for things that other people don't?
Um, I'm not sure, but I've always like just messed around writing with my left hand a lot.
Okay, yeah, see, I picked that up.
But yeah, I don't know. I used to in class all the time just only write with my left hand for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, see, when I thought about you left or right, I saw you doing that, and I'm like, I thought she was right-handed, but
Yeah, no,
you
I am
know,
right-handed.
yeah,
I do a left-handed cartwheel.
there you go. So you use both parts of your brain, which is great. But let's use your right hand.
Okay.
Okay? It doesn't really matter. Okay. Now look at your hand, and very intently, I want you to hope that your hand rises up off your knee. What happens?
That's not rising.
Right. Why? Because hope is the expectation of failure, isn't it? If you hope you win the lottery, are you
Yeah.
really planning to win it?
No.
No, of course not. So hope gets what done? Nothing. Okay. I had this funny conversation with a priest years ago that I was at mass with my parents and he used the word hope a lot and I said, Father, I need to talk to you, and we knew each other, and he said, yes, Gene, what's going on? And I said, well, it's about this hope thing, and he was starting to go on about hope. I said, Father, let me ask you a question. Do you hope there's a God or do you believe there's a God? And he said, I'm not going to use hope anymore. He
Wow.
got updated. Because if you're
Oh.
hoping there's a God, you're sort of expecting there isn't.
Mhm.
If you're hoping to win the lottery, you're fully expecting you won't.
Yeah.
If you're hoping for a better job or for you're not taking action towards a goal, you're sort of assuming it's never going to happen,
Yeah.
and that is a dead end. Now, that's level one. Number two is look at your hand
Mhm.
and very intensely, as hard as you can, I want you to try to lift it off your knee. Just try to lift it up. Try as hard
Wait,
as you
like,
can. Yeah, okay,
like
now just put
actually.
it down. Okay, now just lift it. Hope, try, and doing.
Mhm.
See the three differences? When you try to do something, now you know the trick. Try to lift your hand. See what it feels like. You see, there's a hesitation.
Yeah.
As
Like
soon
I'm
as you
just
try to
trying.
do something, there's not an expectation of failure, but it might that you might fail. You're preparing for failure while you're doing it. That's what trying is. Preparing for failure, but doing it anyway. But when you do something, it just happens. So when you decide that Charlottes are the kittens of the insect world, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
When you try to make the picture, it's a lot more effort and you may not succeed. When you simply allow it to be,
Mm-hmm.
allow it to be, you're allowing it to be. You have control. Who has control of your brain? You do. So if you say in your heart, I'm going to allow that to happen, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're stopping yourself from stopping it. That's the difference. Okay, can I borrow your left arm for a second? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to, okay, now take a deep breath. Now we're going to just do a very, very quick trance experience. Can I touch your forehead like
Mm-hmm.
this? Okay. As you exhale, I want you to imagine that all the little spiders of the world are turning into, that's right, just relax. As your hand moves down, just get deeper and deeper. They're all turning into tiny little cutest that you could ever imagine kittens. And they're eating up all the bad bugs that want to kill people. They're eating all the bad bugs that want to kill people. And every spider that you ever saw in your entire life right now has a tiny little kitten head and then smiling at you and playing around and eating the bugs, playing with the bugs like little toys and eating them up and saving real people, saving real people. I want you to remember from now on all those spiders in your past. They all had the glow. They were all Charlottes and they were all kittens. And you could make them as kitten-like as you want in your mind because you decide what that shape means. From now on, you decide what that shape means. And the Laura that always believed in Charlotte before your sister came along, you are now that same Laura. And all that other stuff, that was like a faded bad memory. All those times that in the past you weren't making them into little kittens, that's all faded memory. And it's fading, 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 fading so far away. It's black and white, it's fuzzy, it's just, you don't need that anymore. You look to the future, and there's so much yellow glow, not just around spiders and charlottes and the kittens of the insect world, but there's yellow glows around other things. Things that you might have come here for and that were surrounded by the desire to feel free of that unnecessary phobia. But there's other things in your life too that need that yellow glow around them that you could open your mind and heart to. There we go. That's right. And you could just let that feeling be in your mind and body for as long as you need to, and take part of that feeling into your dream space tonight. As you're dreaming in your bed, as you start to sleep, just allow those nice feelings to all come back just as you're drifting off to sleep, and enjoy them all throughout your dream space while you're refreshing your body and dreaming. And you can know that you can go there anytime you need to as you're drifting off to sleep to see your future with that beautiful yellow glow around it and that expectation of success and the example of the big difference between trying something and just doing it, just allowing it to be. Just allowing all those pictures in the past to fade away. We don't need them. And the Laura who loved Charlotte is back in her body. She's back in control, like Freaky Friday. You're back in control, and you are recognizing the eight-legged kittens of the insect world protecting us from the disease-ridden insects, protecting little babies and mommies who are pregnant. You could just recognize them for the job they do, for the important job they do. And you could feel so good in your stomach and in your shoulders and all throughout your body that you can control how you feel about things now because you remember all the steps we did to get here. We did it in a very short amount of time. And you could make those changes in your mind and heart about anything in your life that in the past would slow you down, and now you can just easily change how you feel about things. And just take a deep breath and know that you have made important changes in your brain, important changes in your behavior that will live with you and for you for the rest of your life. And when you feel really good about that, you can smile and open your eyes. Take all the time you need. That's feels good in there, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah, there you go. Take a minute, take a minute. So, let's see. How do we do? Oh, 40 minutes. Not too bad.
No, not at all.
Change your life in 40 minutes.
Right? So I think it's definitely a conscious effort that is definitely going to turn into the subconscious.
Yeah.
Like start with the conscious into the subconscious, and then
Choose it
hopefully,
consciously, and it'll always be there.
yeah. Interesting. That's really cool.
Hmm. That's what I do for a living.
Fun to find out. I've
Yeah.
seen you here before, so it's cool to know. But awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
How do your legs feel? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.